The next part will just be dealing with prime numbers. These are just natural numbers with only two factors, which is 1 and the number itself. Examples of prime numbers will be 2, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, and so on. Then we've got compound numbers. What are compound numbers? Compound numbers are simply numbers that have more than one factor. So they have more than two factors, as a matter of fact. They have more than two factors. So any number that has more than factors will be called a compound number. Examples will be your 2, your 6, actually not 6, yes, your 6, your 9, and so on and so forth, because 6 has 4 factors. So any number that has more than 2 factors will be called a compound number. Now tell me, what are the factors of 6? It's 1, 2, 3, and 6. Of the factors of 6, which factors are prime factors of 6? So they must be factors of 6, but they must also be prime numbers. Which numbers will those be? It'll be 2 and 3. They are factors of 6 and they're also prime numbers. That's why we call them prime factors. Factors of 20, what are they? It's 1, 2, 4, 5, and 10. 10 and 20. Now, which ones will be prime factors of 20? There's only 2 of them, which is 2 and 5, because those are prime numbers and they're also prime factors. We call them prime factors. So they're also factors of 20, prime numbers and factors of 20. That is why we call them prime factors. We will simply be prime factorizing numbers, but we are going to use the ladder method. And when you use the ladder method, you simply divide by the lowest prime. And the lowest prime that we have is 2. If 2 doesn't work, you try the second lowest prime, which is 3. If 3 doesn't work, you try the third lowest prime, which is 5. And you continue until you get a prime number that gets into a given product. Now let's try and prime factorize 60. I will first start by writing the given product, which is 60. Then you divide by the lowest prime. The lowest prime that can get into 60 will be 2. And when you take 60 and you divide it by 2, it'll give you 30. Then you find another lowest prime that gets into 30, which is 2 again. You will take that and divide it by 2. 30 divided by 2 will give you 15. Now I can't use the prime number 2. I have to try another prime number, which is 3 in this case. Can 3 divide into 15? Yes, without leaving any decimals. That will simply give you 5. And the only lowest prime that I can divide 5 by, and without leaving any remainder or decimals, will simply be 5 itself. Now you will simply write this as a product of factors by writing it as 60 is equals to 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. When the base repeats itself, you write it as a single base and its exponent will be the number of times that base was multiplied by itself. So for instance, here I multiplied 2 with 2. So when you multiply 2 with 2, I will just write it as a single base of 2. But because I multiplied 2 by itself twice, I will raise it to the exponent of 2. So when I write this, I will write it as 60 is equals to 2 squared times 3 times 5. Remember, the exponent tells you how many times a factor has been multiplied by itself. Okay, again, I'm taking these exercises from ABC book. They're beautiful and nice exercises. I love them. That's why I simply use them. Let's determine the prime factors of 12. You first find the lowest prime that you can divide 12 by without leaving any decimal remainder. That will be 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. The lowest prime that gets into 6 will be 2. And 6 divided by 2 will be 3. And now the lowest prime that I can divide 3 by will be 3 itself. And 3 divided by 3 will simply give me 1. Now you write it as a product of prime factors, which is 2 times 2 times 3. But you will note that again, the 2 here has been multiplied by itself twice. You will simply write it as a base of 2 and raise it to the exponent of 2. If it was 2 multiplied by itself 3 times, we're going to write it as a base of 2 raised to the exponent of 3. Now, remember what I just said earlier on. The exponent tells you how many times a factor has been multiplied by itself. Let's prime factorize 35. The lowest prime number that I can divide 35 by is 2. No, it can't be 2. It'll give you a decimal. Can it be 3? Again, no, it can't be 3. So now I have to try another one, which is 5. Can I divide 35 by 5? Yes, I can. And that'll give me how much? It'll just give me 7. And again, once I got the 7, I can't use any prime number. I'll have to use 7 itself to divide 7. And in this case, 7 divided by 7 will just give me 1. When you write this down, it'll be 35 is equals to 5 multiplied by 7. There's nothing else I can do there. Okay. Try these ones and do me the honor by sending me the answers there. Okay. You need to use the letter method to prime factorize each of those. Okay. I'm tempted to do the first one. Let me just do the first one. Okay, 32. Hopefully I won't get carried away and do everything else. So I will simply say 32 divided by 2. That'll give me 16. You divide 16 by 2. That'll give me 8. You divide 8 by 2. That'll simply give me 4. You divide 4 by 2. So when I write this, I will simply write it as 32 is equals to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. But how many times? 5 times. And that's why I will simply write it as 2 to the exponent of 5. Right? One last one. I promise this is the last one. Okay, let's just divide 44. 44, it'll simply be 2 divided, 44 divided by 2. That will give you 22. You divide it by 2 again. That will give you 11. You divide by 11. When you write this, you write it as 44 is equals to 2 squared multiplied by 11. That is because we multiplied 2 by itself twice. So when you write it as an exponent, it will be 2 squared. I still have a minute. Let me just try this one. Okay, I hope I won't lie again. Okay, now I'm not lying. This is the last one. Let's do 48. You will simply take 48 divided by 2. That will give you 24. You divide that by 2. It'll give you 12. 12 divided by 2 will give you 6. 6 divided by 2 will give you 3. And you can write this as 48 is equals to 2 to the exponent of 4 times 3. Okay, one more minute. Okay, let's try I promise this will be the last one, 27. You'll divide it by 3, will give you 9. 9 divided by 3 will give you 3, and you end up having 27 is equals to 3 cubed. I'm not getting what I want. And okay, let's see, 56, you divide it by 2, it'll give you 28, divided by 2, it'll give you 14, 14 divided by 2, it'll give you 7, and that'll be 2 to the exponent of 3 times 7. 100, you divide that by 2, it'll simply give you 50. 50 divided by 2 is 25. 25 divided by 5, it's 5. And you end up having 2 squared times 5 squared. Okay, I think I've gone through a lot. Please try everything that is left, and I hope you understand what is going on here. If you have any questions, don't forget to drop me an email. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you for watching. Check the next video for more solutions.